Well, hey there everybody, welcome back down into the dungeon for day 14. Day 14, 2 weeks, I've made it, that's almost halfway. Tomorrow is officially halfway, I guess. But 2 weeks into this 30 and 30. You're killing me, Rev. I don't know, buddy. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, welcome back into the dungeon, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Today I want to deal with the fish tanks just a little bit. And, you know, maybe we'll take a look at a couple of the seedlings. But really pretty basic today, so let's get started. So those of you who have been following along in the adventure know that I found this old tote out in the shop. It had a bit of a crack. I've coated it with several coats of liquid rubber, and I was toying with the idea of using that for a fish tank. And then Shocks brought me home this tote of exactly the same size and shape, although, you know, slightly different color. But basically, it's exactly the same tote. I tested it, filled it up with water. It's been running for a while now. Got sort of a fake filter system set up there. Just kind of toying with some ideas, really. Not going to use that particular Folgers can. It's disgusting. Still need to figure out my frame. I was looking at some of the lumber I've got kicking around. I might actually have to buy something. I hope not, but I might. So I'll have to build a frame around this before I can put too much more water in it. That being said, I'm still very much thinking about transferring the fish to it anyway, because this is only a couple inches less water height than they've got in there. However, side to side, like the longest way they can swim there is the shortest way they can swim here, so I'm just kind of feeling like, you know, this is the right thing to do, even though it's not fully set up. So, yes, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the terracotta pot in there, because I don't want to punch any holes in the sides of this thing just yet. And I'm going to stand my little chicken wing bucket on it, because it's already set up as a filter. I will be setting up another Folgers can in the future. I'll probably just slice a couple of holes in the bottom, create something of a waterfall effect out of there. This crazy setup of plumbing will undoubtedly get switched to the 400 gallon per hour pump in the long run. I see no point in doing it right now though, because this is just a tester. And yeah, in all, that should provide the fish a much happier living environment. And being a larger body of water, it's going to take longer for there to be pH issues or ammonia issues or anything like that. Now that I've been here for a minute or two, they're kind of swimming around, but still not much. I have taken one or two of the fish from the blue tote here, moved them over to the big tote. I saw no negative reaction other than they were looking a little bewildered, and holy, this is a lot of space. So yeah, I see no reason why not to switch them at this point. The water in this green tote has been cycling at least as long as the water was in the blue tote before, so yeah, it is what it is. So far, they're all doing well. I'm still 21 for 21, although today will give me a chance to count that and just make sure. But, like, I haven't found any floaters and there's nobody stuck to the pump, so, I mean, there should still be 21 fish in there. The biggest giggle I've got with this fish tote right now is my so-called aquaponic garden. But, I mean, we can see nothing's died in here. There's that little mint sprig. Seems to have grown a teeny tiny bit. That basil hasn't bitten the bucket yet, as it were. And this is one of the pak choi seedlings that I fished out of the tank after the fish ate all the aphids off it. It was nice and strong and sturdy, and it sucked up a whole lot of water. Still had some roots on it, so I plunked it in there. And I'm probably going to leave it plunked in there. Oh, you may notice this slight change. I grabbed a kitchen scrubby because we had a whole bunch of those upstairs that hadn't been used yet. Kind of stuffed the pipe into the middle of it, and it's now catching a lot of the solids for me. Not that there was too much to deal with anyway. And as you can see, kind of looking down on the bottom, everything seems to kind of collect in the middle. Those white dots are split pea halves that they've been kind of slowly working away on. Not doing anything but hiding in a corner right now, because there's that huge thing over the fish tank, and it's got that thing in its hand, and panic and stuff. But when I had tested the other fish tank with a couple of fish in there, they were certainly much easier to see. So yeah, I guess I'll get the tripod and I'll start fiddling with things, and we'll check in from time to time during the transfer. You know, ultimately I think one of the things that I enjoy the most about aquaponics and fish tanks and all of this indoor gardening hoopla is really, it just gives me something to fiddle with. I'm a huge one for having something to do. Better busy than bored has been a motto of mine for a long time. So, yeah, aquaponics is definitely good for me that way. Alright. So of course the furnace is going in the background, but here we go. I'm heading off to plug this sucker in. Hopefully that won't overflow on me before I can get back. So far that seems to be working. Probably going to need to fine tune that a little bit. It's getting a little higher in those clay pellets than maybe I might like. But that seems to be working, at least as well as it was in the other one. So now I got a whole bunch of fish to catch. On the upside, catching them this time, I don't have to worry about the pet store water. So I can just kind of scoop and drop. So we've got 3 in here so far. We just changed the camera angle, so hopefully we can see them a little bit better. Yes, well, hopefully this angle is going to work a little bit better for us to see these guys. Seems a couple of them are already hiding underneath that pump. So we were at 3. This brings us to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 fish now in the big tank. Whoa, oh, oh. Three more takes us to 11. 1, come on up. 2, there's Peaches. And come on up, Blacktail. 3. So what did I say? 11? 12. 13, and they're getting trickier to catch now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop moving. 5 more. What is that? 18. And I see 3 fish. That's 21. Perfect. So we're still sitting at a 100% survival rate. I gotta say that gives me some good happy thoughts about a pet lover's warehouse and the conditions they keep their fish in. Plus wherever they get their fish from, because these were obviously some nice healthy feeder fish. They certainly seem a lot smaller in this big tank, but they'll grow into it. And it'll get deeper for them too as they grow. Got lots more room here. Was looking at a livestock tank today at the co-op. 100 US gallons, but they want $220 for it before taxes. So I'm just not necessarily prepared to spend that. I could get an 8x8 above ground swimming pool We're pretty close to that, so. Now granted, I'm not sure I could put an 8x8 swimming pool in this dungeon at this point. But it's still enough to stop me from wanting to buy that stock tank for the same price. Alright, I'm going to grab the camera and go back to hand holding this thing so we can get, well, so you guys really can get the look that I'm getting of these fish here in the new tank. We got a good group of them over here. Still seems to be very glary through the camera. It's nowhere near as bad as all that in real life. Got Peaches hiding underneath the pump. And back at the far end there, hiding out in the shadowy area. Got the rest of them. But so far, we're still 21 for 21, so that is amazing. I am absolutely overjoyed by that. Now we just need to grow them a little bit, and we'll do another fish cam update in a little while, a couple weeks maybe, once they get comfortable in the tank and all of that jazz. Nice looking group of fish though. And that is where I'm going to wrap up day 14. It's just a little bit of a fish tank transfer, nothing terribly spectacular. But, you know, I got to put something up for that 30 and 30 challenge. So today you watched me switch the fish tanks. I guess that's the way it goes in these challenge situations. Yeah, so that is where I'm going to wrap it up today. Why not take a second, check out some of the other channels that are going to be around this square somewhere. And yeah, if you'd like me to possibly list your channel in amongst those in future videos, please feel free to make mention of what you do on your channel down in the comments below. Not only does that improve your chances of me listing you, it also lets everybody else who reads the comments know who you are and what you do, and they might even get there before I have a chance. So, yeah, alright, you guys rock as a community. I am out of here.